Today, why I write every single morning for 1 hour with a gun to my head. Get that trash out of your life. You have legacies to build. We grew that business from 3.4 million to 17.1. Horsepower, not horse shit. You want to be the parent that's an ally. They don't need another friend. Not everybody's cup of whiskey. Toughest advice for the toughest businessmen. Be relentless. Michael McLean, nobullbook.com, badassletter.com. I have a brand new badass world building mastermind starting in December. If you are interested in applying, go to badassworldbuilders.com, badassworldbuilders.com. It's a 12-month mastermind, but it is not, I repeat, not for everybody. It's for kings and ballers, cleaners, badass husbands, fathers, entrepreneurs, contenders, and badass businessmen that want to go from success to significance. Businessmen that want to grow their business from 5 figures to 6 figures to the 7-figure $1 million per year mark. That's the goal in the 12 months. There's no travel. It's all online. Bi-weekly trainings with yours relentless. Badassworldbuilders.com. I made it affordable. My Champions Mastermind, as you may or may not know, is $50,000 a year. My Badass World Builders, I've reduced to $9,800 for the entire year. Total no-brainer for the businessman who wants to go from 5 to 6 to 7 figures in the next calendar year. Badassworldbuilders.com. Apply. Every morning I get up and I write, I copyright, I do marketing, I do advertising, I do promotion, I do something that brings me one of 2 things. I call it Operation Money Suck. The late great, a tip of the hat to the late great Gary Halbert, the prince of print for that. He used to call it Operation Money Suck. I remember reading that. And it's the hour you spend first thing in the morning. It's the second thing I do. I walk first. The second thing is doing something that does one of 2 things for your business. Number 1, it brings you present bank, which is money today or tomorrow, or you spend your hour of writing doing something that brings you future bank, something down the road, a month, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. But no matter what, every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, I do something in terms of Operation Money Suck. Present bank or future bank, and that's a training from the great Gary Halbert. No matter what, one of my badass personal rules is that I write for 1 hour per day, every day. Sunday, Saturday, happy, sad, Christmas, Thanksgiving. You know, it doesn't make any difference. Motivated, not motivated, healthy, sick. And I've been doing this for almost a decade and a half. So 15 plus years. My life changed completely. My income completely changed. I went from 5 to 6 to 7 figures to an 8-figure net worth. As soon as I started writing every day, copywriting every day, whether it was writing an email, whether it was designing a website, whether it was, designing a postcard, a flyer, a social media post, anything that was marketing, advertising, or promotion. I went from making 30 grand to 50 grand to 70 grand to 100,000 a year to 120,000, which I thought was all the money in the world. And then I just kept writing every day, writing for an hour, some days for 2 hours, but most days just an hour. 7 hours per week, that's the compound interest. 7 hours per week, 1 hour per day. And all of a sudden, after a few years of writing, Operation Money Suck, I finally broke that 7-figure $1 million mark per year. And that was my last few years in the insurance business. So a tip of the hat to the great Gary Halbert for Operation Money Suck. But the concept that I want to talk about today is the most important part of Gary's principle, which he called his gun to the head principle. And I don't see this very much with marketers or advertisers or anything promotional. And what the concept means, and this was a complete game changer for me. And it's especially important in the world we live in today, where people are completely, there's my wife driving by, we're having a birthday party, grandparents' birthday party for my daughter today. Emery's turning 9 on November 14th, but the grandparents are coming today. So my wife just drove by with food. So the gun to the head principle is so important today because most of your prospects are so distracted, so checked out, so lost, that you have to visualize your prospect as like a sloth sitting on a couch. They got, chip dust or Cheeto dust on them. They're watching the television set. They've got 2 cell phones in their hand. They're on social media. They're gambling. They're watching the NFL or the NBA or the NHL. They've got the chips, the popcorn, the peanuts, the beer, whatever it is. And you're interrupting their day to get your message across, your marketing across. And you have got to get this fat ass sloth, your prospect, my prospect, to literally get off his fat ass and shut the TV off, put the cell phone down, stop filling his face, stop drinking, interrupt the ball game, and buy your product. And buy your product. And that's the way that Gary used to talk about the 30-minute infomercials. He was interrupting the sloth at 12:30 a.m., at 3:30 a.m., selling the Abflex or whatever, the ShamWow or whatever it is in those old infomercials. And that's how effective those things had to be. And he called it his gun to the head principle. So the principle is very simple, not easy, but simple. Whenever I'm writing something, whenever I'm writing an email, whenever I'm doing Operation Money Suck, whatever the marketing is, where I'm writing a newsletter, I'm writing a chapter in my book, I'm writing a training for my mastermind, I'm doing a Facebook ad, a YouTube ad, whatever it is that I'm doing marketing-wise, Operation Money Suck, I always say to myself, okay, and this is the Halbert training, he said, if somebody placed a gun to your head or had a knife to your throat and said, this either has to sell, this message you're creating, this marketing piece you're creating, it either sells, it's either successful, it either makes money, or you pay with your life. In other words, you're a dead man. In other words, gun to the head, knife to the throat, whatever. And as harsh as that may seem, that's what made Halbert one of the greatest copywriters in history. Is every sales letter he wrote, every website, every video page, whatever he did was with that gun to the head principle. He was just ruthless when it came to that stuff. He was like, my life is counting on this working. And that's why he had the best display ads, the best newspaper ads, the best magazine ads. The man literally sold hundreds of millions of dollars in direct mail, in newspapers, in magazines. So he used to say, okay, if your life depends on this, if your life depends on this mailing, is that the envelope you would send? If your life depended on it, if you had a gun to your head, is that the sales letter that you would send? Is that the headline you would use? Is that the expiry date we would use? If somebody had a knife to your throat and said this either works or not, then is that the testimonials you would use? Is that the video you would shoot? And the whole thing. And that has given me an edge when it comes to everything, whether I'm sending an email, whether I'm shooting a video, whether I'm writing a newsletter, whether I'm writing a telegram, whether I'm giving a speech to my hockey players. If I want to get my message through all the incredible clutter and distraction today, I always have to go back to that, Michael, I have a gun to my head principle. Is this the email I would send? Is this the video I would send? Is this the message to my athletes? Is this, is this the video I would shoot? Is this the post I would make? Is this the ad I want to use on YouTube? Is this the ad I want to use on Facebook? And I use that gun to the head principle. And a lot of times I have to go back and recreate because my message is too wimpy, it's too ordinary, and it's not going to cut through and like Gary said, grab my prospect by the throat. That's what Halbert said. He says, whatever your advertising or your promotion or your marketing is, you need to create it to grab your prospect by the throat. Literally reach out and does your headline with your letter, does your headline in your ad, does it reach out and grab the person by the throat? Like one of the headlines that I've used through the years is and it used to be called my $5 million flyer that I sent 120,000 flyers a month in the insurance business. And the headline was, who else wants to save 37% instantly on their home and car insurance? And that's a pretty good grab them by the throat. That's a gun to the head headline. How to is always a good way to do it. I've had headlines like with my book is, this book is not every businessman's cup of whiskey. To me, that's a grab them by the throat. That's a gun to the head. That's a knife to the throat, cutting through the clutter, getting that guy up off the couch to consider buying my book. And you can't underestimate the job that you have in marketing today. Like if you think stale, dull, and boring, if you think anything ordinary or interesting is going to cut through the clutter, you're crazy. This is why I send my sales letters by FedEx. This is why I spend hours on my headlines. This is why I shoot videos that cut to the core. This is why I never stop thinking of how to cut through the clutter. I'm always thinking Operation Money Suck, gun to the head, gun to the head. Will this get through? Is this the letter? Is this the fax? Is this the email? Is this the sales letter? Is this the website? Is this the YouTube ad? Is this the Facebook ad that I would send out into the general public to get my customer if there was an actual gun to my head and my life depended on it? And then I always think back and I make it better. I make it more outrageous. I make it more targeted. I make it more emotional. And that's how winning is done in advertising. So that's the Gary Halbert gun to the head marketing principle. When you sit down to write every day, Operation Money Suck, no matter what you're writing, whether you sit down and write an email to your list every day, whether you're designing a Facebook ad or you're designing a new website for your insurance agency or your flooring company, whatever you're doing when it comes to Operation Money Suck, put it on a white card, one of those recipe cards we write on every day, and always put in there gun to the head principle. Is this the exact thing that is this the advertisement? Is this what you would send out if you had a gun to your head? If it's in an envelope, is that the envelope that you would send? Is that the sales letter you would send? Is that the headline you would use? Are those the testimonials you would use? Would you have videos supporting this? Is this the website you would post? And that gun to the head principle is a game changer, and I owe a lot to the late great Prince of Print for that. So in my new mastermind, one of the things that I'm doing over the course of the year with my 12-month World Builders Mastermind is I'm going to teach copywriting for the first time. I consider myself the world's third best copywriter. There's two other guys that are better than me. I believe I'm number 3. But I'm going to teach you in the mastermind this year about copywriting. I'm going to teach you how to write sales letters, how to write web copy, how to create videos. But one of the things I'm going to talk about is how to use this gun to the head principle to write a daily email to your list. Well, I don't have a list, Michael. Well, I'm going to show you how to build a list. I mean, I started with no list, and now my list is in the tens of thousands. I'm going to show you how to do what I do, which is send a video 7 days a week to your list and be a welcome guest, where you're not an annoying pest, you're a welcome guest. And how you can literally sit down in 5 to 10 minutes every morning Write a simple plain text email. You don't have to send a video. You do not need to send a video like I do. And press send and literally generate money every single day. No matter what business you're in, whether you're in the insurance business, restaurant business, whether you're a dentist, chiropractor, real estate, maybe you're a coach, maybe you're a consultant, whatever it is, press send every day, 5 or 10 minutes, press send every day, and automatically present bank and future bank comes to you. You make sales every day. I call email the eighth wonder of the world, but you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to write it. You don't know when to send it. You don't know what to write about. This is one of the things I'm going to spend a couple of weeks training in my new mastermind. I'm not going to teach it anywhere else. I'm going to teach this to my champions at the $50,000 level, but I'm also going to teach it to the world builders as well. And the ability to write copy that sells. So you'll be able to write an email that sells, you'll be able to design a website that sells, you'll be able to do direct mail that sells, a postcard, a letter, a fax, a YouTube ad, you name it. And that's one of the real huge bonuses of joining the mastermind. There's still a few spots left, maximum 50 men to apply. And one of the things you're going to learn is how to write copy, how to write emails that sell every day for you. Go to badassworldbuilders.com. That's badassworldbuilders.com. There's 5 questions, take 1 minute, 5 questions to apply. You pay a refundable $97 deposit. You get your money back. And then I look at your application and I decide whether you're a good fit, and I decide whether I'm a good fit. And if you're in, you pay the $9,800 for the year. It's chump change. You'll make that back in the first month. You'll make that in the first month in sending daily emails. Are you kidding me? One of these emails could be worth $2,000. One of these emails could be worth $5,000. I mean, once you learn how to write copy, gun to your head copy, I mean, the world it's a totally different world for you. So one of the things you want to build in your new world is you having the ability to sit down and write for money anytime you want, no matter where you are, no matter what's happening in the economy, no matter what's happening in the markets, no matter where you're living. You sit down 5 or 10 minutes, write an email, send it to your list, make money. That's what I've been doing for years and years and years, and I'm going to show you for the first time how to do that if you're part of one of my 2 masterminds. badassworldbuilders.com. That's it for today. Remember to hug your children, hug your wife, and tell the most important people in your life every single day how much you love them, how much you respect them, and that you got this. The king, if the king does not rise, the kingdom dies. Every day, it's important that you're getting 1% better, 0.001% better, whatever it is. When the king does not rise, the kingdom dies. You need to be showing up. You need to be present. You need to be getting in the best physical shape of your life, mental shape of your life. You need to be producing. You need to be growing. And you need to be the king of your new world. And it's contagious. Nothing more positive, nothing more contagious than your positive example. That's it. 2 words that change my life. 2 words that can change your life. Be relentless.